Testing, testing.
It's tonight, not tomorrow or yesterday. Tonight, it's 1929. That's right.
Yes, yes, Mr. Star Chief. You hear me. Oh crap, I accidentally deleted a link. Oops. Alright. What do you mean, stream's dead? What happened? What did I do? What did I do wrong here? What's dead here? Is it going? I mean, I did delete the buff compendium link for by accident, but... Do you hear me? Okay. Welcome to Hole's Warrior Guide. An important disclaimer. Many links do not work in Google Drive. Please open them in Google Spreadsheets instead, like you see here. Reopen a tab if the images are out of place. Yeah, I'll tap Tet Ogre later. Welcome to Hole's Warrior Guide. As the previous Warrior Discord this guide is already out of date, has fallen out of date. I've attempted to pick up, or did attempt to pick up the pace and update a few things here and there. The guide will forever be a work in progress, so never expect changes or updates as I go along. But of course, thanks to the Warrior Discord mods and community for tips and advice. Bedtime story, I mean. This is a bedtime reading, I believe. This is what Star requested, me reading this entire guide here, or what's left of it, at least. Look at all these changes that I've been through in this last year. I haven't done anything to it since then. The pre-awakened skills section complete? Nonsense. It's all about succession now. Let's see. Ah, right, the important. Higher FPS is better gameplay. But y'all already know that, don't you? As you can see in the media section here, you have my Twitch link, my YouTube link, my Discord link, the Black Rose Discord link, I think. No, actually, I think that's, should I click it? Alright, there's Star's guide. Tuck yourself in. Alright, let's start with the pre-awakened skill list. I might as well update stuff as I go here. Let's see, in the passive skill tree for the pre-awakened skill list, we have the first up, Guard Pressure 1 to 2, which requires a total SP count of 15. These stats and bonuses that it gives, it adds 5, 10, or 15 DP for 10 seconds, depending on the level of the skill. Kinky handcuffs. It's okay, he'll teach you every nook and cranny of the warrior body, of course. I'm sure Star already has shown you much of his techniques. Of course, let's see, the notes I've included here are that guard pressure is the bread and butter of warrior, because blocking is the essential skill that every warrior has got to master. It's not hard, you just press Q, and there you go, you stand still. I'm doing fine, I'm just reading this to Star because Star wanted a reading of the warrior guide, so here I am. Ah yes, she's definitely seen you swing around your greatsword. Quite wildly at that. Hello. Hello, Mando. Just reading this to Star as he tucks himself with his greatsword in bed with his wife in tow. Let's start all over, shall we? As you can see, guard pressure is the bread and butter of warrior. If you want to be more mobile in your pre-awakened form, please rank this up. While the DP buff does not stack with the 20 DP buff from Burning Moxie, Overwhelm, or Hilt Strike, it is still nice to have some DP up if the previous buff expires. For Succession though, you should definitely rank this up because, I mean, why would you skimp out on your guard pressure? It's something you definitely need to survive anything. Audiobooks. On to the next. Infinite Mastery 1 to 6. Is that it? This costs you 90 SP. Wow, this seems like a hefty amount by any means. This is something you will definitely want because it gives you 700 HP. And 2 accuracy at that. Who would actually turn themselves loose without this passive? Because this passive is simply so much HP. You can't possibly survive anything without this much HP at your hands. There's no reason not to get this. 90 SP gone like that. Let's see, next up we have fitness training. As you can see, every warrior is at its prime as they keep up their physique with their fitness training. And I'm pretty sure it got a little change here and there, but the general concept is that you gain 200 HP or a bit more than that. Some separated DP standards, which is in fact actually just DR, because DP, when it's listed like that, is strictly DR. It will tell you if it's evasion. As such, it is free stats. If you don't max this out, of course, again, there's something very, very wrong with you. And, well, Skilled Hunter is actually, how should I put it? It's very optional, but that's only at a point in time where you just don't care about anything PvE related. I'm really not too sure about how much effectiveness this AP against monsters plus 15 has for your overall clear speed, but I believe that it is just 15 free AP. It's free stats, but optional for PvP, of course. I mean, what is AP against monsters gonna do for you? Nothing much, I'm sure. Onwards, we have the Soul of the Warrior. Apparently, we get a 10% bonus attack speed compared to all of these other classes, but you can't really tell the difference. it's obtained relatively soon in the game, and you'll never notice it, but we have that, so that's the Soul of Warrior. The other passive we have is Increase Grip, which increases our grapple success rate by 30%. I'm actually not too sure if it's ignoring the resistance here, but hey, it's a bonus that we all have up against some other grapple classes. Zerkers also have this passive, so I guess we're not unique in that sense anymore. Slash is not really a passive, but I don't think you should ever use this skill unless you decide to flail about wildly. Why would you do that? I don't know. Maybe you have a fetish for swinging around your sword, clanging your shield. I wouldn't know, and I don't judge you. But if that's your fetish, then so be it. Alright, here we are at the movement section. This is the second section that I created, lest I recall. I should make a succession versus normal pre-awakened skill difference, but that's a bit much, don't you think? That requires effort. Work and effort that I simply don't have. I have no passion for this, but I will do it anyways, later on, eventually. Yes, Star's fetish is full of greatsword movements, as he solar flares into the pelvis, swinging wildly, flailing his greatsword as he unleashes his short sword. Let's see, for ultimate forward slash, you need a total of 52 SP, last I recall. This is vital for movement. Many indispensable guides on how to move with it are present with a simple Google search. You could also find plenty of guides on YouTube, of course. Keep in mind that it drains stamina very, very fast. The skill can cancel out of other skills, but if you take the succession variant, you can't actually cancel out of it. It does take up about 2.5 forward slashes for each normal ultimate forward slash compared to one succession forward slash. But the downside is that you can't actually move in the animation. Ultimate shield charge. This would take out 41 SP out of your allotted skill points. It is a frontal guard, it stiffens, and it is also one of 3 potential cancels for your pre-awakened. This is vital for movement. You are guided. You are. Thanks for following. You are guided for the entire animation that plays out, as well as ending in a block stance. Use this to cover distance and escape while mitigating damage. Counter can quickly cast at the end of this animation. This skill can cast and cancel out of other skills. This doesn't really change much, really. You need this skill in Succession and Awakened. This is like the ultimate skill. It kind of doesn't really get its recognition that much because it's something that you'll always take and you'll always use, but it's not something you really think about. But without ultimate shield charge, I think a lot of our kit just falls flat. It's just a very, very nice skill that our shield has when you compare something to Shield Strike. I don't recommend Shield Strike ever in Awakened form or a Succession form. Don't do it, please don't. Just don't. Let's see. As such, double shield charge will cost you a whopping 3 SP. This will allow you to use shield charge twice in a row. This is of course self-explanatory. Please get this skill so you can cover more distance than a single shield charge. It's a very nice distance in the gap closer. But Shield Strike is a completely different story. I do not recommend using this skill in Succession or Awakened. Again, it is a trap. It's a waste of SP. Do not use it. but you should definitely put some in Shield Strike so you could actually get the better variant called Upper Shield Strike. I did not touch your... God, I mean, I have nothing against it, but if you want to touch tips, you better be cute as hell. And you're definitely not. Yes, ASMR session for Star. Just me reading this silly little guide. This outdated guide. Look, Star, your standards are questionable. And, well, who can say? But my standards are a bit higher. I'm sorry. Star does many things. I'm sorry. I don't mean it that way. I simply mean it his taste in men, not his taste in women. Those are two completely different things. Alright. For this skill, Upper Shield Strike 2, you need 14 SP. You can get away with Upper Shield Strike 1, but I think you actually lose out on something. But you get Frontal Guard and Floating. You move a short distance while guarding with this skill. It has a chance to float anyone caught off guard, and it is also the setup for the Slav Kick combo. The Slav Kick combo is something extraordinary. To the human eye, no one can predict its ravishing kicks at the speed of light. No one can expect that you would kick them to death, but it can happen, and I'm sure that thing is still not patched. It's okay, Victor. I'm sure there's a man out there for you. As such, Upper Shield Strike is very much optional. If you're running Succession, of course, I think you can also use this skill as a filler skill. A very good filler skill at that point, because there's not much mobility in that kit. Except Charging Thrust, of course, which is what I'm going to put in next. As you can see, Charging Thrust is Frontal Guard for the entire way, and the SP count is not very indicative of the Succession variant, which requires an extra 40 SP for the absolute version. Otherwise, you can't do 3 Charging Thrusts in a row. And 3 Charging Thrusts in a row is very different from 2 simple Charging Thrusts. You can't go the full duration, the full length of what you want to do. You can't thrust enough. Therefore, you have to make it absolute in succession to make up for your lost girth. Without the aid of a greatsword, Charging Thrust is simply far too short. If you're in Awakening, please avoid colliding into people. You will be punished if you do. This is the get the hell out of move for warriors. Keep an eye on this cooldown at all times. Cancel out of the kick animation if you hit someone with a cancel skill. This is less so prevalent in Succession because you actually gain no collision after the Charging Thrust. The first Charging Thrust though. If you still hit someone in the first Charging Thrust animation, you will collide with them. But after that, you are free to go ramming yourself into people however you want to. Just be careful, you only have protection one way, not behind you. Of course, you can always reroll Warrior. It's the hot stuff these days, isn't it? Succession is so much damage. Ah yes, we have the flippy sword move, as Star would call it, Whirlwind Slash. It costs so very little, 1 SP for 2 times spinning slash damage. You say every warrior is a 7-foot Chad, 8-pack and rippling pectorals. But what if I told you that was not the case? Can you imagine some of our warriors in the Discord? A 7 inch 7 feet chat. Oh my god. Alright, so Whirlwind Slash. You should always take this skill, regardless of your affiliation. The Holy Land of Great Swordia embraces the flippy sword move as the one true mobility skill that you can proc off of counter at any point in time. Although it is not protected, it is absolutely essential that you learn this cancel. Not really a cancel, but a flow, but it is so smooth that it's like applying butter to your tongue. This can be used after most awakening swaps, a key movement combo ability. If you use this in succession format, you can actually be protected at all times. It's just a bit less, how should I put it? A bit less smooth. It'll be clunky. You don't get the smooth buttery sensation like awakening, but it is completely protected and it does take all the damage of Spinning Slash. So today's quote of the day. Someone rerolled a warrior a couple of days ago, and they simply don't feel confident on the class. That's okay. Confidence is something you gain as you thrust your sword repeatedly at the dummy many, many times. No one gains confidence like that. It's alright, Star. It's alright. You've thrusted your sword so many times. I'm sure you got the gist of it. You've got the hang of what it takes. You've done everything you can. No, this is not my heartbeat back to video. I can't do video again. That thing's a piece of crap. Oh, I can't. The enhancing system is trash. Anyways. Exploding Jump Thrust. This costs you 10 SP. Now, what it doesn't offer you is, let's put it this way, it's 3 jumping thrusts in a row. Better than 30 videos. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Okay, so these 3 seals are only for mobility. They are vital to maneuvering vertical terrain. Heights are warriors' greatest at weakness, so jump off any building with this skill and you're gonna skip the unusual fall animation. I can give you a show of what you can do with this, but that would require me logging into video. Let me see if I have anything I can show you on my streamable. I think I caught something for a succession variant, but let me check. As you can see here, in succession form, you can do a lot of things with this. Look at yourself go. From this height, you can solar flare off of that vertical landing. You do not get punished for it, and right after, you can use exploding thrusts. It gives you a shocking amount of distance as you drop down onto an unsuspecting victim. Who can say that warrior isn't good at vertical heights anymore, as long as they have the high ground? Anakin, I have the high ground! Anyways, yes. Exploding thrusts are very good for mobility through heights. This is the same concept in Awakening, but you must start in pre-awakening form. What do you mean he has Oh god. Stop it. No, get some help. Help him out. Okay, so the ultimate chopping kick section. I'm sure you've all done the slap kick once in your life at this point. The slap kick is simply too amazing to give up. Costs you a total of 42 SP, disregarding the kick skill. This is a bound off cooldown, and is also one of our 3 most important cancels. Sleepywood, what the hell? This allows you to move a short distance after casting. If off cooldown, this skill can instantly bound anyone caught without super armor. As it is a cancel move, remember to use accordingly, because if you use this after canceling a move by accident or intentional purposes, keep in mind of the cooldown time for this. Once it's on cooldown, it has no protection at all. Because it has no protection, this will unfortunately be the death of you if you decide to cancel out of anything in Succession or Awakening. Do not try this if you are unsure of your timing. Don't use it for its bound, but only for its canceling purposes if you are that unsure of your ability to keep track of cooldowns. Sideways cut is not necessary of a skill tree because this skill is rather niche. While it may not seem like you're moving faster, I mean, it looks like you're moving faster, but I would say you're not. I'd argue that coupled with the fact that you're unguarded, you've got a death wish if you decide to use this in actual combat. Of course, if they're on the ground and you're trying to style on them, be my guest. It's kind of worthless in Succession because I believe that spinning slash gets a bit too, how should I put it, a bit too slow for you to combo off of sideways cut. Can initiate counter instantly after this skill, but I believe one of the directions are glitched at this point in time. We're getting close to the end of this section. Skills to lock. So, evasion. The roll of shame. If you do this roll and you're not doing it to troll, then I would like to see you do something extremely techie with it, because I cannot for my life accept the fact that you can roll and just be useless. You're dead after you roll if they catch you doing it. The ultimate iframe for warrior in PvE though. By rolling right and left, you can effectively iframe for as long as your stamina bar can hold out. It will kill you in PvP, but, well, if you roll while crouching and sneaking around, perhaps you've got an eye for this kind of stuff. Heavy Strike? I would tell you to... Why would you sleep when you're stabbing? Oh my god. Alright, Heavy Strike. I would say there is no merit to this skill other than style points. The dot on it is painfully worthless. The heal at the end of this skill tree, absolutely abysmal, and the extensions of no viability. A bad skill overall, but of course, if you want to style on people, this is the perfect skill, especially in Succession, because you're not allotted too much in the way of skills, so you're gonna have to improvise elsewhere. Original warriors and techie warriors will be using this skill at every point in time, like Whirlwind Strike. This is something that no one ever uses, but the few that use it know exactly what they're doing with it. Don't go into this skill thinking that it's that great for PvP, but it can be used for fancy finishers. Of course, it is a very good filler skill in Succession, but I am no Succession expert, so I would not tell you otherwise to lock it. And we have Charging Flash. It gives you the speed attack modifier. I'm not sure if you all remember this, but speed attack modifier gives you 1.2 damage modifier, if I recall correctly. I'll be honest, I haven't found a use for this skill at all in all my time playing. However, it has interfered with my attacks somewhat. You may choose to leave it as it is, but feel free to lock it. Just please don't put any SP into this skill tree unless you're down to style away. At that point, I am interested in what you have found with this skill, Succession or Awakened, because it has shown no promise at all damage-wise or style-wise. It does not flow into anything correctly, but you can always try. I'm always open to suggestions. Why didn't you pee in your S, Mr. Star? Ah yes, shield counter is something you should never take, but if you take it then, of course, it can stiffen. But the skill would oftentimes kill you more so than save you. The only reason you would get this skill is to spec into Furious Blow, which has a very, very niche use. If you choose to do so, please lock shield counter. I can't exactly teach you how to use this skill properly because there's no proper usage for it. If you can find the one situation out of 1,000 to use it, congrats. You are an absolute god. I applaud your manliness at finding a situation for doing this skill. As for Furious Blow though, that's a different story entirely. It can very well save your life in a sticky situation, but that's only when you're ready for it. We have Kick, an absolute style skill, but if you happen to actually spec into this skill, I suggest that you remove it immediately or lock it, because, to be fair, it is not Chopping Kick. It is definitely not a viable skill, but you can definitely use it to down smash or air smash someone. And when you do so, it's a very nice fulfilling situation where you can infinitely down smash someone, and that requires very, very precise handiwork. And if you're not comfortable with using Kick, then always lock it. But if you don't lock it, then you might accidentally use Kick instead of Chopping Kick, and that would be a shame if you just happen to mess up along the way, wouldn't it? Ah, Star is about to enter a sticky situation, I see. Very, very good. Again, Shield Strike. Do not, and I repeat, do not use this skill. It is useless. Please don't try. It's been proven time and time again that this skill is a killer. It will kill you. It will down you before you know it. See here? Meditation is a skill that was an afterthought. It makes you think. What were they thinking about doing this? Who would actually use their HP to recover willpower? This recovery is just bad, and the conversion rate is even worse. Paying HP to recover willpower. Definitely not a skill you'd want to activate. Don't do it. It's for your own good. Ah, yes, Ground Slash. I won't go too in-depth about this, but if you don't lingering crit this skill would have no damage to it, because no critical hit bonuses are available for this skill. But, of course, if you do decide to want to do it, be my guest, it does do a hefty amount of damage if you do spec into it. And for Succession variant, it is a debuff, a vital debuff, in fact, that you have to actually spec into the skill. It won't do damage for you though, so please don't do into Deep Ground Slash. If you do so, it's not very effective in PvE or PvP, because it turns into something that was a damage skill, but is relegated to becoming a utility skill on Succession now. Useless skills. Skills that I can't possibly tell you to take in good faith. Except, of course, Ultimate Ground Smash, which is now buffed in Succession format. But that's a different story. That's something I won't need to go over, do I? Frenzied Dash. Please. For the love of God. No. It has nothing going for it. Nothing. No frontal guard. No super armor. No damage. Nothing. This is in a tier of its own worthlessness, for its importance is nonsensical. God bless you. Poor soul. Charge Shield Strike is a stun, but have you ever seen anyone use this? I think not. The skill will leave you vulnerable while charging. By the time you finish charging, the enemy would have likely ran away, or better yet, just kill you while you're doing it. So please don't try it. It's not worth it. It's a charged shield strike, and even in Succession form, it doesn't actually use the Succession damage. It uses its base damage. Don't do it. It's useless. Frenzied Dash montage. You're all worthless scum. Yes, next up we have Hilt Smash. Good in theory, but it's horrible in practice, because it is only one hit, and one hit only. It can barely proc a CC. Along with the fact that the hitbox of this skill is extremely short, this skill doesn't work the way you want it to most of the time, and will definitely get you killed. If you do want to be very fancy, it falls into a category of, let's see, Furious Blow and Shield Counter. So you can use this skill. It is, I believe, a very viable skill in style point situations, but do know that you'll die most likely 95% of the time. 99% of the time, perhaps. Oh yes, you touch tips far too much, Star. This is why you are the pinnacle of gay. Shield Push is a useless skill that you should lock if you take it. It's a knockback skill. Knockback is worthless in this CC meta. Not to be confused with Shield Charge. Shield Push is impractical and useless in nature. With very little ability to activate, it removes you from block, and leaves you vulnerable to damage and CCs. If a spec, it will interfere with your shield charge as well because of the skill binding that it has. It will definitely be harmful to your gameplay experience. I'll skip over Ultimate Ground Smash because it is very self-explanatory. It's Ground Smash, but Ultimate, you know? Then we have Warcry. Warcry is very super BM. It kind of draws PvE aggro, but not really, so this debuff doesn't actually stack with Armor Break or Ground Slash. It barely draws boss aggro. It's basically used for BMing. It also has Frontal Guard now, but of course, you could always BM very proficiently with it. Who can assert their dominance as well as a warrior who is war crying on their shield? Thing that goes clang clang. And you know that the warrior already has the situation under control. You know he's too good for you. You know that he's already got you in his sights, ready to taste your blood. Alright, one more section actually, the combat skill section that, I feel like it's a bit too much, but hey, let's go through it this time as well, shan't we? Phew, okay. Okay. So, apparently, the total SP count, is 69 SP? Is that it? Nice. A nice little number. Bread and butter of warrior. You have to understand the difference between takedown and instant grapple though. They are essentially the same move, but with different speeds. Always keep an eye on the timer, as every 18 seconds it is vital to securing an enemy. Ranking takedown up will cause your bound radius to proc further. Very useful for 1vx, but of course, there are many situations where, in succession form, you simply just throw out a grab and don't get punished for it. Awakened, though, is a completely different story. Very susceptible to enemy incoming CCs, leaving you vulnerable later on. A required skill, of course. Ground Roar. Ground Roar should be maxed at any point in time because of the simple utility purposes that it provides. It reduces melee DP for 10 seconds. Very useful in PvP for observing the enemy HP bars, because we don't really have anything to gauge HP bars, but by simply proccing their HP, their bodies with this skill, then you can see their HP bars. You essentially draw their aggro. The longer range it is, the easier aggro time that you have. Ground Smash? Ground Smash. Do it. Take it. It's Ground Smash. You know what it does. I don't have to explain it to you. It's amazing. It's very good. It's super armor. You know the drill. Smash. Me smash. Yes, of course. It is very good for finding ninjas. And the prevalence of ninjas and kunos these days is abnormal. Their succession variant is simply too toxic to deal with. But I digress. Me star, me smash. Anyways. Next up we have Ultimate Deep Thrust. It's a knockback, an air smash, and a cancel at the same time. It's a very useful skill, but its usefulness has diminished over the course of several patches. It's ill-advised for actual damage, and it's not very useful in PvE, but by throwing out this deep thrust, you can assert your dominance over the opponent. Thrusting deeply to make sure that they understand coming close to you was a mistake, because you know you've already got the upper hand. Take a hold of them and thrust away. Onwards to Piercing Spear. This used to be one of the best skills, and is still a great skill for warrior, but a spam ability that has been removed from it is far too off now. It's a shadow of its former self. Practically, it's our only long-range skill versus the force counter, force slash that we have in Succession, but that's for Succession variants. It stiffens an enemy in the large radius, so throw it at an unsuspecting enemy for a neat stiffen. The range of the Piercing Spear is about the same as a head chase to a solar flare. Pretty long, but not too abnormally long. Spinning Slash is, to a point, DPS, but if you're in Awakening form, The DPS is very subpar compared to everything else. In succession form, it is a practical damage filler, but even then, because of how succession works, you are locked into the animation. So, therefore, its sole purpose is to be a damage skill. It is a bit lackluster, but you can start and ramp it up with ground smash first and cancelling it with chopping kick for a full combo. Pass this skill up if you don't have spare skill points, because you need the entire skill to use it properly. So jump slash is entirely optional. Whirlwind slash is a completely separate skill though, so you do definitely need whirlwind slash, just spinning slash is a whole nother skill tree in its own right. Oh yes, here we go. We have Scars of Dusk, the one-shot god. Scars. Succession Scars is on a whole nother level. What can you do with this? You press it, you do damage, you gain DP. In Awaken, though, you definitely need to use this skill because it gives you a stackable DP buff for 15 seconds. 10, simple DP, but DP nevertheless. Mainly used to proc the self DP buff in Awaken form, and mainly for a one-shot combo for Succession. So, a absolutely worthwhile skill overall for both. We have Furious Blow, which is a stun. It is indeed a very niche skill. It's very good for surprise stuns, but to activate the skill you have to be hit in the pre-awaken block 3 times in a row by the same person. If you're hit one time each by 3 different people, it will not activate. Lock shield counter, the prerequisite, and don't lock counter, don't. Just use Furious Blow if you're experienced with this skill. It's very nice to land off. Finally, we have counter and force slash. Ignore the notes section for this, but how do I put it? Force slash is in a completely different category in its own right. Force slash reduces the damage of absolute counter, so please do not spec into it if you're in Awaken form, but it is definitely worthwhile to use force slash, even though it reduces damage overall in succession mode. Because of the range of the thing, it is so long, so thick. But that's a different story. That's only if you're in succession form. You know how it is. You know how often you use it. How long I think exactly? Well, imagine a human body. But that human body is as long as a carrot. That carrot is not an ordinary carrot, though. That carrot. Oh, fucking no, fuck you, Star, I can't do it. Star needs to know exactly how much to take, right? Alright. See, counter is a very suspicious move. People know when you're casting it because it requires some charge up time. That's exactly why you force your way in with force slash. They can't resist while they're coming up to you. They'll make sure to get to you as close as possible, but at the very last minute, as soon as you finish charging, you forcefully slash at them with your counter skill. How much he can take? I don't think he can take very much. After all, Star, while he speaks much of his tolerance levels, I believe to be quite a stickler for these kinds of things. Alright, that should do it for this one page. Man, reading more of this is tiring. What I can do is log into BDO and tap my ogre ring, and that should end it for today. But I highly doubt that would work, so who knows. Now let's tap it. Let's tap it real good. Apparently there's a 1.71 gigabyte update, so... Sorry, Star, I don't swing that way. You don't get any taps from me. Coffee on 2 Battle Arena, huh? I wouldn't square up. That would take far, far too much of my time. Oh yes, a skill section that I had never finished. The Awakened skill section. What a poor, poor excuse of a kid nowadays. Just roll Succession, you'll be happy. On the other side. Perhaps I'll cover the add-on someday. Add-on someday. Star's top split. I'm sure Star is capable of taking much, much more. After all, there are multiple holes. The outdated SB planner and gearing planner. Might as well get a BDO planner while I wait for my game to update. Just one hole stretched out, so it looks like multiple, you say? Well, see, if one hole is simply stretched out, well, that just means more room, more flexibility. I think I should do an updated BDO planner thing, but that requires me to actually go to this link every single time. I'll just start with the basics, I guess. Now, why GIF, you may ask? GIF is simply the superior option in terms of cost and effectiveness. People will tell you Griffin is better is simply bullshitting themselves. Of course, we put this at, let's see, no, let's put this at pen, because at this point in the game, if you don't have a pen, GF, I feel sorry for you. Pentaritas, huh? Pentaritas. Ah, you're living in the past, old man. Isn't it time for someone to update you? Let's see, let's say Caphras level 9, because that's apparently the endpoint these days. Crystal slot wise though. I still believe Jin Harfias to be the best. That should do it. That's 90 DP from a single slot. Yes, it is I. Doing ASMR for Star Chief. Well, I guess I'll finish this video planner later. Let me swap to one tapping my Ted Ogre and failing.
Nun sitz ich wieder bei dir und mir zu Haus und such die Fotos fürs Fotoalbum aus.
Regrets. Foolish star. That's not how it works. It never goes through. That's how a state of the game is. It's all a lie. All a terrible, cruel lie. Would you look at that? A login screen. Haven't seen that since last year, eh? Why not? Coffee on to you. How about it? Where am I? In Velia? I've been placed in Velia, aren't I? Alright, time to tap it. I mean, if it hits, I might consider actually trying to farm again, but that's the full extent of my obligations. Hey look, it's a brand new item. Let's take a look in the Pearl Shop. Wow, another premium service. Beautiful. Look at that. Delicious. And it's discounted too for your buying good needs. Apparently I have a tri-ogre here. And an ogre ring right here. Now what happens? I already don't have an earring slot. I've done nothing. This is the state of my gear since last year. Nothing's changed. Only depression awaits. Or was that enhancing rock again? I wouldn't know. I don't believe in these silly myths. Alright, it was here, wasn't it? That rock, but it is here no more. Alright, Mr. Star. Do your worst. Tell me when you get here. Perhaps I'll see where you are then. Look at that. Broken gear. Screw the music. Let's see what happens now. Nothing good. I expect it to be. Nothing to see here. Just broken hopes, shattered dreams. Expired Villa Pass, huh? It's okay, Star. It's gonna end terribly. It won't work out. Whatever works out here, nothing Nothing. I have the urge to just go on and click it. It'll all be over soon. That's alright. It's gonna happen. Let's see here. 33% chance. "30 seconds, you say? Perhaps you'll be 30 seconds too late. It's time for me to enhance. It is Calpheon 2. Calpheon 2. Calpheon Uno 2. The original ERP stream, channel, whatever you want it. Come, star, witness the moment of my fall. Yes, close to coming, star, close to coming. Charging thrust faster, won't you? There you are. Is it time to tap, star? Do I need music? Do I need preambles? Is there anything to it, star? What do I need? Alright. As you will. .05 chance. It's alright. Look at that, a failure. What can you expect from this game? Nothing but disappointment. It's alright, star. So is the end. That'll be it. That's the end of this stream. Sudoku will not solve anything, star. Save your life. It is more meaningful that way. And look off to the distance, because that's where the future lies. Perhaps I can also go for a pen attempt here. Who can say? Who knows? Nothing will go. Now I have 2 missing slots. Is that any reason to go? Nope. It's all failures. Alright. And so it ends. I hope you enjoyed the ERP session, star. Take care. Take care.